In this time lapse, I'm going to be taking this drawing from a sketch to a finalized painting. Thanks for joining me in this time-lapse video where I am going to commentate. Is commentate even a word? Give a commentary, I guess, over the top of a short time-lapse of me drawing an elf mage. Now, I did start this time-lapse roughly about 3 to 5 minutes into the actual drawing when I kind of worked out it was actually going to turn out to be pretty decent. Because that's the thing, really. Like, sometimes you start sketching and it comes to nothing. And that's what I really like to do. I really like to make my initial sketches quite rough. As you can see on screen now, there are a lot of lines going everywhere, but I feel that these lines add a lot of texture and energy to the final image. It also takes off a lot of the pressure off you, the artist, because you don't have to worry about these really clean lines that a lot of people are, doing. Because most of them, they are doing quite rough drawings at the beginning. At least I am. After that, after I've done my basic drawing, I then block out with colors what the shapes are going to be, and it also gives me an idea on the color palette that I'm going to be using. So in this case, I knew I wanted to be very earthy mostly, with quite a dark color palette. But the gemstones in the staff and the one that she's inscribing, I wanted that to be quite colourful and quite unnatural in colour, and the best unnatural colours that I could think of at the time were blue and purple. Like, you can't really derive blue and purple from nature unless it's from a stone or a gem or some sort of rock formation. It's not something readily accessible. As you can see, I'm really, trying to get her face to kind of feel young and innocent-like. I was actually really happy with the painting process of this. It turned out quite well. All that I'm really using is a 4 pencil brush, which is quite an interesting choice, but I thought it actually worked quite well. It almost had a very painterly feel to it. And really, this is just quite a rough out stage, and I'm just painting as I go. I'm trying really to keep as far back. That was one of the challenges of this painting, to keep as far back as possible. I don't always succeed, but I really wanted to try that, because one of my core failings when painting is I always really want to zoom in as much as possible sometimes, and I've got to break that habit. It's not good, so I try to keep as far back as I could and just paint from that distance so I could get a feel of the overall composition as I was progressing. I think it was at this point here that I was actually really proud of this artwork, even though it's not that great in retrospect, but I was really happy with it. Like, I had actually taken a lot of the lines out of it. As you can see in her nose, I'm actually using shading instead of a harsh black or other solid color line to denote the depth. And that's something I've actually not really done before. I do like a line look, but I was really, well, maybe it's more because I'm afraid of using actual shade to denote volume, because it seems like such a complicated method when it is, but once you know what you're doing, it tends to be a bit easier. Here I am, I'm trying to come up with some sort of pattern for her gloves, and I just end up making a pretty basic fold at the end. I didn't even want to get into that. I thought it was going to take way too long, so I didn't even bother. That's laziness on a massive scale for you. And now I'm just adding in some, extra details, some highlights, kind of getting that orb thing to feel like it's actually emitting a lot of light onto her face and onto her cap. And then just getting some particles and making it look pretty. Although, looking back on it, I think I should have done the particles maybe a bit differently because I don't feel they pop as much. And then I'm just, oh yeah, that's a very sneaky way to put your initials into it. But yeah, the particles don't really pop as much as I would have liked, which is unfortunate, but overall I'm very happy with this painting, and I hope that you enjoyed watching and listening to me commentate, because it is a word, over the top of it. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've grown from a small community of under 50 to over 2,400 now, which is still mind-boggling. So thank you so much for everyone who is already subscribed.